Good morning students, myself Jyoti Rathore and I am going to welcome all of you in the class of Social Studies for 9th class students. So children, this is the lesson from our 4th book Economics, clear? And this is our chapter number 2nd. First chapter we have completed. Now this is our second chapter. The name of our chapter is People as a Resource. The lesson is very interesting students. Basically for the students like you people those who are entering in the senior secondary section, now you have to realize what kind of work you have to do, clear? Means what kind of implications that to be applied upon you. Like you children are studying up to 8th you have studied, okay? But what was the purpose of that study? Why you people were studying, okay? That you have to learn here in your senior secondary section to become something, okay? You are a people of this country, like you there are number of people in this country, okay? 1000 crore population is there of our country. But do you think all the people are resource of this country? Okay, like you are studying, a basic purpose is there of your studies. If that purpose is fulfilled, then definitely you are used as a resource. Okay, one example let me give you. See, two boys are there. One boy who is very healthy, okay, another boy who is not as healthy as the first one. Okay, most of the time the boy is very lazy and tired. Okay, then the first boy, he is he is earning a lot. Okay, on the other hand side, the second boy, he is not at all earning anything. So what do you think? Who's supposed to be the best one, the first one or the second one? The direct answer would be the first one, no? Who is healthy also and whose earning is good as compared to the second one. So for our country, for our house also, that first boy would be the best resource, clear, as compared to the second one. Now in this chapter we have to see how the humans, they are the resource of this country. This word resource, I think you know, all of you know the meaning, okay. Now population of a nation can be its assessed right rather than liability. See, I think the word asset and liability, it is a new term for you. But when you children will go to 11th class and suppose if you will take commerce, that time this term asset and liability would be used again and again. You people would be used to of these two terms. Asset means the thing or the person who is useful for you. That is asset. Clear? Liability means reduction of that thing. No? Now you have to decide, you are the asset of your family or you are the liability of your family. If your learning is very good, definitely production, you would produce something good. But if you are not learning this time, if you will not learn anything or you just waste time, then in future you would not be any productive person or any good would be produced by you. Okay, so this term asset and liability. Now we have to decide population of this nation, like big number of population is there in our country, but not each and every person is useful for the country, clear? Like some of the people, they are involved in the particular business, some are the teachers, some are doctors, some are doing this thing, some are housewives, so all those things. Some children, those who are studying well, they are also very good for purpose for the society. But rest of the population, those who are not doing anything, like the people, those who are taking drugs, there is nothing good for them, okay. They are spoiling their future as well as the future of the nation also. On the other hand side, the people, those like the beggar kind of people, those who are roaming here and there, those who are wasting their youth, that kind of person are simply useless, clear. So in that case we have to decide who is the asset and who is the liability. Now children, people as resource refer to countries' working people in terms of their existing productive skill and ability. On the basis of your own skill, on the basis of your own ability, you have to decide whether you want to be productive or as it is unproductive. Whether you want to be resource of this country or you just doesn't want to be resource of this country. Now in this case, when existing human resources develop by becoming educated, healthy, it turns into human capital. Now this term human capital, I think this meaning you know in our first lesson also. See, human capital means that kind of human, those who are very productive. No? So children, in this chapter there are some new terms. Meaning is almost very simple, but many of the terms are new for you. These are all the terms which are written in the language of economics. That is why you have to revise those terms once or twice, afterwards you are used to with the terms. So human capital in the sense, those who are very useful, clear? We can invest those humans with the help of their skill, with the help of their ability, they become something productive. No? Like one example I just want to give you. For example, you are the child of 9th standard. Afterwards, like in 9th you can study well, 10th, 11th, 12th you can study well. Afterwards, after completing your graduation also, if you are appearing for some UPSC or IAS type of exams, then afterwards you become a dignified personality. That means you are so useful. And in that case, those people, those who were helping you, they were also your resource. Clear? So this is all about human capital. The people, those who are useful for the country, those who are productive for the country. Human capital is superior to other resources like land and physical capital. As its use, these capital add value to them. See this land and physical capital, okay. Land, you know, no, like land property is there. And physical capital also like money. So human capital is much more superior to these things, okay. If we are investing nowadays youth, no, and something productive we are getting, so definitely it add value to them. Understood? Now, investment in human capital via education and medical care can give high return in the future. No? See this education and medical care. Like nowadays you are small, okay, you are at the age of 14 or 15 year age group. So that time, from your very early ages, like when you were born, from that time till now, your parents, they are taking good care of you. They are giving you best food. Okay, best food not in the sense like chow mein and all such kind of food. I am talking about quality food. Okay, each and every parent, they have decided that I just have to give my child the best one. Huh? So in that case, they are providing you best meal. Okay, with that best meal, they are providing you healthcare facilities also. Whenever you are ill, mother is taking care of you, father is taking to the doctor. So in that case, parents are very much aware about you. They are thinking about you. Why? Because this investment in human capital via education and medical care can give high return in the future. They are thinking about your future, because in future, when you become an asset, that time you have to give something productive to them. Huh? Like nowadays you are studying, they are giving you best food, they are giving you best medical facilities, everything. They have to take good care of you. Why? Because so in future you have to become something, and in future you have to take care of them. So children, this is your prime responsibility, whatever parents are telling, okay. Like with the help of these videos also, your teachers are insisting you to learn something. Because when today you will learn, tomorrow you will get a better result. If today you will not learn anything, you will not do anything, tomorrow your future will be a big zero. Okay, and that zero would not be usable for your society, for your parents or for anybody else. Clear? So you have to become very productive. So for that productivity, parents are also investing in the future and in the medical care. Country like Japan have invested a lot in human resource. They do not have rich material resource, but still they are called as developed nation. So let us take example of this country Japan. They are investing a lot in their human resources. Okay, so with that, with the help of those human resources, that country become one of the developed nation of the world. Like in Second World War, situation was totally different. That country was almost destroyed, no, by the powerful countries. But afterward, they were working upon their resources, upon their human resources, and as a result, now the nation would be a developed nation of the world. Human beings perform many activity which can be grouped into economic and non-economic activity. So children, this is the basic introduction how human as a resource. Now I am going to tell you the activities which are circulating in the market between which kind of group it is divided. It is divided into two groups. First group is economic activity, another one is non-economic activity. So up to here I don't think so the things would be very tough for you. When you apply those terms again and again, I am telling you, you people would be used to, because in your 10th standard also some part of these lessons are applied. So children, please go through the lesson very sincerely. Now, economic and non-economic activity. This is very simple. You all know about economic and non-economic activities. Economic activity refers to those activities of a man which are undertaken for monetary gain or to satisfy his her want. Clear? Basically the things which are related with money. Clear? Like nowadays your teachers are teaching you, so our work would be an economic work. Afterward we will get our payment also. So that activity would be economic activity. But like you are studying, you will not get any money for that. Okay. So your work would not be an economic activity, but our teaching would be economic. Clear? For example, the workers, farmers, shopkeepers, manufacturer, doctor, lawyer, taxi driver, etc. They all are coming under this category. So the people, those who are earning anything, after giving services, if they are earning anything, that activity would be counted as an economic activity. Now, market activity and non-market activity. Now, these economic activity also divided into two groups. First one is market, another one is non-market. Economic activity are also called as market activity. Clear? The activity which are going through, which are circulating in the market areas, they all are market activity. And non-market activity which are not doing any kind of production. Okay? Non-market activities are production for self-consumption. For example, like here we have given example of farmer also. Okay? Do you think farmer's work is economic or non-economic? I think so your answer would be Miss Economic. Clear? Why it is so? Because after producing something, the farmer is getting something, some money in his hand. Okay? But say for example, if the farmer is doing that thing, that much production only if he does, that is for the consumption of his family, that would not be market activity. That is non-market. Clear? So either market or non-market. For example, if I am teaching for you, so that is my job. No? For that job I am getting salary. But if I teach my own son, that teaching would not be my economic activity. Then non-economic activities. Non-economic activities are ones that are not undertaken for any kind of monetary gain. With the help of these non-economic activity, people are not gaining anything, people are not getting anything. They are called as unpaid activities. Clear? For example, puja path, housekeeping, helping the poor or disabled, etc. Such kind of work people are not getting any money. So this is all non-economic activity. Now children, I think so up to this economic activity and up to the introduction of our lesson, things would be clear to you. Now in my next video, I just try to complete my lesson. So thank you.